I want you to imagine something terrifying. Imagine you are 85 years old. You are sitting on your deathbed, looking back at your life. You're not wishing you had fewer crazy stories. You're not wishing you played it safer. You are looking back with regret because you realized you had the potential to be a savage, a hero, someone who built an empire, but you chose to be normal instead. Most advice you hear about money in your 20s is designed to keep you average. They tell you to save $5 on coffee or worry about the stock market. But the roadmap I'm about to give you isn't about skipping lattes. It is brutally honest advice on how to win. I made my first million at 26. By 31, I crossed a net worth of $100 million. And I can tell you right now, the rules of the game are not what you think they are. In the next minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to do, step by step, to stop being broke, build real skills, and stack cash while you are young enough to enjoy it. But I have to warn you, this isn't going to be nice. I'm not here to be nice to you. I'm here to be kind. And sometimes, kindness hurts a little bit because it requires you to kill your ego. If you are ready to stop pretending and actually start building wealth, listen close. Here is the common mistake most Americans make in their 20s. You think you need resources to start. You look at rich people and say, well, I don't have the capital, I don't have the connections, I don't have the rich parents. That is an insecurity. That is a projection of blame because you are scared to start. The first rule of entrepreneurship is that you must use what you have. And right now, if you are in your 20s, you probably have zero utility. Society values you based on your utility, how useful you are, and when you are young, you haven't built that yet. But you do have one thing. You have energy. You have a massive amount of energy that you are currently wasting on things that do not pay you. The problem is that you are trying to look rich before you actually are rich. You are leasing the car for $5,000 a month to impress people. But let me tell you a secret. Real rich people know exactly what that car costs, and they aren't impressed. You are only impressing poor people. You are spending your money on lifestyle when you should be spending it on buying back your time and survival. You are living in survival mode because your expenses match your income. If you make $40,000 a month, but you spend $40,000 a month, you are broke. You can't think long-term because you are worried about next month's rent. You need to get your survival costs as low as humanly possible so you can get into thrive mode. So, how do we fix this? If you have less than $100,000 in savings, I need you to listen to this checklist. This is the part where you have to check your ego at the door. 1. Stop eating out. If you are broke, you go to the grocery store. You buy discount groceries. 2. Stop buying new clothes. You go to Goodwill. 3. Only attend free events with friends. If your friends want you to go to a bar or a club that costs money, you don't go. Now pay attention because this part matters. Some of you are getting defensive right now. You're thinking, but I need to have a life. If your friends don't support your financial goals, they aren't your friends. If you tell someone you are trying to save money to change your life and they pressure you to spend money on a night out, that person is an enemy disguised as a friend. Once you stop bleeding money, you take all that extra time and you apply it to step 2. You need to increase your shovel. You need to learn skills that you can trade for a higher hourly rate than what you make right now. You need to maximize your shovel, your ability to earn. But here's the twist. You don't learn these skills by reading a book. You learn by doing. You need volume. If you get a sales job and the guy next to you makes 100 calls a day, you make 200. You need to double the input of the hardest worker in the room. That is how you compress time. That is how you get better faster. I call this being patient with outputs, but impatient with inputs. You have to be patient about the money coming in. That takes time. But you need to be incredibly impatient about the work you do every single day. If you feel anxious that you aren't rich yet, use that anxiety to do more work. Action alleviates anxiety. Now, this next part is going to be the hardest thing you do in your 20s. You have to change your environment. There's a concept called your reference group. These are the people you compare yourself to. Studies show this is one of the highest correlations to how big your life gets. If you want to be exceptional, by definition, you cannot be normal. You are going to be unlike the others, and that means you are going to go through a lonely chapter. This is the chapter where you don't fit in with your old friends from high school because they are still doing the same old stuff, drinking on weekends, complaining about their boss, watching 4 hours of Netflix, but you don't have the success yet to fit in with the rich friends you want. You are in the middle. It feels lonely. You will question if it's worth it. You will feel like a fake. This is the Matrix moment. The door opens and you can go back to the party life. It's warm, it's comfortable, but you know exactly where that road ends, and you know that is not where you want to be. You have to love your goals more than you love your old friends, because your goals are going to be with you a lot longer than those relationships will be. Here's a brutal truth. I only talked to maybe one person from my high school. Why? Because those friendships were based on convenience. We were friends because we lived in the same neighborhood. Once the context changed, the friendship faded, and that's okay. You have to prune your life. Ask yourself, does having this person in my life make it more likely or less likely that I achieve my goals? If the answer is less likely, you have to distance yourself. You have to kill your current self so your new self has room to grow. Let's talk about how you actually get good at something. Most people fail because they stop when it gets boring. I see young guys get into sales or marketing, and after 30 days they say, "I'm getting kind of bored." Here's what nobody tells you. The winners are the ones who can endure the boredom of repetition. Great salespeople don't have magic tricks. They just treat every single call with the same intensity, even if they have done it 1,000 times. You need to develop a feedback loop. It's not just about working hard, it's about working smart. When I was learning to make ads, I didn't just make them blindly. I looked at the top 10 ads that performed well and asked, why did these work? Then I looked at the bottom 10 and asked, why did these fail? You have to do the work, look at the data, and adjust. That is how you get skills. And this brings me to a controversial point. You need to humble yourself. If you are in your 20s, you probably have an ego. You want to prove you're a man. You want respect. But if you humble yourself and admit you know nothing, successful people will help you. I have seen young guys get advice worth thousands of dollars just because they said, "Hey, I don't know anything. I'm happy to learn." Drop the ego. You are the asset you are investing in. You are the permanent hold. You can't sell yourself. So every skill you stack, sales, marketing, finance, compounds. If you know sales and you know finance, you can raise capital. If you know code and marketing, you can build a software company. The skills stack on top of each other to make you a weapon. And this is where it gets scary. You can do all of this. You can save the money, you can learn the skills, but you can ruin it all with one decision. You can poison the tree in a second. You can change your life forever by getting drunk and getting behind the wheel of a car. You want the biggest cheat code for wealth in your 20s? Get in shape and stop drinking. Show me 2 groups of men. One group is fit and sober. The other group is out of shape and hungover. Who's going to win? The fit guys will have more focus, more energy, and yes, people treat you better when you look like you respect yourself. Drinking costs you 2 days. It costs you the day you drink and the day you recover. You are trading your future for a headache. Charlie Munger said, "All I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there." If you avoid stupidity, you become intelligent by default. Avoid the nightclubs, avoid the parties, go to bed at 9 p.m. I know it sounds like grandma advice, but if you can get comfortable being in bed by yourself at 9 p.m. while everyone else is out wasting money, you will make it. I want to leave you with this. You might be thinking that you have demons or trauma that stop you from succeeding. You think you self-sabotage. The truth is, you don't have demons, you just have a skill deficiency. You don't know how to behave in certain conditions yet. That isn't a demon, that is just inexperience, and you can fix inexperience with reps. Entrepreneurship is not a game where the best man wins. It is a game of the last man standing. The only way you lose is if you quit. You have the balls to start, you have the brains to learn, and you have the heart to never quit. You already have all three, you just aren't using them. So, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for permission. Personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. If you want to stick it to the system, if you want to be a rebel, be excellent. Be great. Ask the girl, shoot the shot, launch the business, take the risk,